Hey, what's up Dormammu fans? It's me, Lynn. Just wanted to make another Dormammu tutorial here to show you guys some of the stuff I've been working on since the last tutorial I made, which was quite a while ago. So the 6 things I'm talking about today are movement, keep away, charging, where to use Dormammu as far as first, second, and third, the assists he has, how to gain and start momentum, TACs in a mid-screen infinite setup, and raw tags. So this first combo right here is your basic setup that you want to use if you're full screen, but unfortunately it misses on some characters. So what I like to do is make sure that you always use a tri-dash if you see it miss, because you can follow it up, usually if you're pretty close to the corner. If you can force your opponent to use a projectile, then a well-timed teleport will get you in range for a combo as well. Of course you don't have to teleport, you can use medium, heavy, or launcher to counter projectiles. If you use medium or heavy, you can actually super cancel or hard count them. Now I just want to talk about keep away and charging just a little bit. In the last video I told you that you can super jump up and use charges, but you can't really cover yourself this way because you super jump, so you can't assist. So what I like to do now is do a normal jump followed by a dash and then flight, and stagger using assists and charges while you're flying. This next section is about team slots. So first off, let's say you have Dormammu on the first part of your team. You're going to want to use this charge tech that I just showed you to get as much charges as possible before you go in for the combo, because chances are you're not going to have very much meter, and you're also not going to want to burn your X Factor. Also, remember that since you have him on the first part of your team, you have 2 assists that you can use, so use them as much as you can to take advantage of having him on the first slot of your team. That first combo just showed you a way to get good damage off Inferno, and this one shows you how to use meteors for that same kind of effect. So let's say that you have Dormammu on the second part of your team, and your opponent has just killed your first character. You want to get to them as soon as possible because you're probably going to have a decent amount of meter, and they're going to want to keep their momentum going. So get to them as quick as possible. If it's still their first character though, and they have a lot of health, you're going to want to use a reset at some point to conserve your meter for their second character. So use some kind of air throw or something to get their first character dead. While their first character is dying, get a couple charges in, and then use as much meter as possible to kill their second character. Try to conserve your charges unless you feel confident you can get more before their last character comes out, because you don't need any meter to kill their last character as long as you have full charges on X Factor, because using X Factor and Liberation will kill pretty much anyone. And even here, Dormammu only has level 1 X Factor, and you can see it'll do well over enough to kill Thor or anybody else for that matter. And again, you're going to have only 1 assist here, so make sure you maximize that assist potential. If you have Dormammu on Anchor, you're going to want to create some space between you and their characters so they can someone stalking for their X Factor, cancel it, and do some stupid teleport mix-ups so that they can't block. Make sure you're always throwing flame carpets out there, just in case they happen to not block well. And at this point, Chaotic Flame is going to be so powerful that it's pretty much going to kill anyone. So just try to use the basic super. You have charges, use them correctly, and you should be able to kill their characters without using any meter if you don't happen to have any. This next section is about his various assists. These first few combos you're going to see here are going to use Dark Hole, because that's the most common assist that I feel most people take. In fact, I use it the most. As you can see right there, you can use it as a relaunch for a lot of different characters. You can also use it to extend certain combos, or as a lockdown, kind of like a beam assist if you get close enough and you have like X23, you do like a medium Mirage Fade or someone with a teleport. Purification is an interesting assist. You can see here, Dante can use it because he has a teleport after his launcher, so you can use assist while you're in the air, and you can use Purification to bring them back up to you. You could also use it if you have a character that uses hard knockdown, like Dante right here using Skydance. Gives Dormammu enough time to come out and use the move, and you can use Hellbreaker to bring him back down to continue the combo. You could also use this move as an anti-air, I guess, but because it's so slow and it leaves you and your assist kind of open, I wouldn't recommend using it this way. Liberation is an interesting assist because you can use it in the middle of a combo for a number of different things, because if you have full charges, they'll hit on the ground. Or as you can see right there, if you have meteors charged up, you can use it as a lockdown so that you can do some high-low mix-ups while your opponent is blocking the meteors. This next example just shows how you can use Big Bang as a relaunch. You can also use it as a mix-up. Say you have a character that can teleport, or X-23 I guess, using medium Mirage Feint. You can call Dormammu, teleport behind them, and if they don't block the explosion, it should give you enough time to dash over and launch them before they hit the ground. If you have Inferno charged up, you could use it as an anti-air. If you have a character that can combo off the ground, like Dante, that would be one way to use it outside of combo just to get some momentum. Speaking of momentum, that's what this next section is about. Let's say that you cannot open your opponent up in any way whatsoever. You can use some pretty heavy chip strings to kill your opponent in other ways as well. Force your opponent to block a dark hole, and then start using stalking flares to keep them away from you. While they're blocking, get as many charges in as possible, while charging after every dark matter you use. And then alternate using your assists and different special moves, so that your opponent never gets used to what attack you're going to throw. And if you get them blocking long enough, you can kill them without even touching them. You do have to be careful while you're doing this though, because a well-timed Bionic Lancer or Charging Stars can cut through your defenses pretty quickly. This next section is about his TACs, and then I'll talk about a way to set up the infinite mid-screen. First off, let's talk about TACs. So your basic down TAC is going to be 2 dark holes. Make sure you delay that second one so you can diagonally dash down and use air heavy. Before they fall at a hit stun, use a dark matter, then teleport over and finish them off however you want. If you do an up TAC, you're going to do kind of the same thing, except you're going to dash horizontally instead of diagonally to get that last little heavy hit in before you spike them back down. And then when you get to the ground, use a charge and then Dark Dimension. I wouldn't recommend using Purification into Chaotic Flame unless you know they're not going to pop out, because usually when you use a TAC they have too much hit stun anyway. So maybe just charge up and then start using Meteors or Big Bang or something to force them to block. I wouldn't want to risk popping out of Purification. If you don't have 3 meters, I would do a down TAC, and instead of teleporting over and spiking them down, use a heavy Dark Hole followed by a Chaotic Flame. Obviously you could do any of those variations in the corner, but if you do have your opponent in the corner, I suggest you use some kind of team-specific combo, because you can really benefit from having your opponent trapped against the corner, or at least I know Dormammu can really benefit against certain characters like Wolverine, because you can bounce them on a flame carpet or something like that. So now I'm going to show you the best way to set up his infinite mid-screen that I've found so far. Go for a down TAC, and then get to the highest possible point of your jump, followed by a straight down air dash, and then use heavy. Follow that up by holding up on your control stick, and then using 2 lights, followed by a heavy, and then do your basic air combo air series with 2 dark holes. If you're feeling lucky, go for another heavy to continue the combo, or you can finish it right there. In this example, I went for another rep of it. So you would do the same set of moves here, and then finish it with a heavy early, so they're up a little bit higher. That allows you to use a dark matter followed by a teleport, and then again you can finish them off however you want. These next few examples show you other ways you can set it up. Dash forward as soon as you hit them with Dormammu, and then a well-timed heavy will let you start the infinite. You can also use a light, but this is kind of difficult, or at least for me it is, so I try to use the first method more than this method to do this infinite mid-screen. These next few combos are going to show you other ways that you can finish it. If you get them with that grounded dark hole, you could super cancel it with a Stalking Flare. And since they are still in an air combo, you could teleport up to them, spike them back down, and use Dark Dimension. So this would be a great way to burn off some meter if you're looking to kill their character. This next example shows you what you could do if you're willing to use your X Factor to finish them. Try to get a charge in and then super cancel with Chaotic Flame. X Factor cancel the last hit of Chaotic Flame, followed by Dark Matter, which would hit them with a wall bounce, teleport behind them, spike them back down, and then you could either use Purification into Chaotic Flame, or give more charges in and use Dark Dimension. This last section is going to be about raw tags, because I feel like this is some untapped potential that Dormammu players don't use, and I try to use it as much as I can, but it is kind of character specific for some of these. But you can always use a mid-screen teleport to get your characters in safely. If you have X Factor, you could use this method to actually combo with certain characters. Not every character can do that. And then this last few combos you're going to see here are certain characters that can combo after Dark Matter in the corner. I would say about, I don't know, 30 to 40% of the cast can benefit from this in various different ways. So these next few combos are going to show you just a few of the characters that I personally know of that can combo after this. This is by no means a complete list, but hopefully this will just give you an idea of some of the things that you can do to switch your characters out in the corner. These next few combos are going to show you that certain characters that have air teleports, like the Twins, or Phoenix, or Doctor Strange, can raw tag after getting them bouncing on a stalking flare, and then you can use that character to bring them back down to the ground and then THC back into Dormammu or a bunch of other different things. So these are just going to show you some different ways to raw tag after you get them bouncing on a stalking flare. Now this last combo is kind of special because it shows you a little bit of tech that I've found with just about any character. It doesn't have to be after a stalking flare. If you spike them down and your point character is falling with them, usually you can raw tag into Dormammu and use Dark Dimension before they recover from the air combo, which is just another way to get more damage in case you have a character on point that can't use 3 meters. That's it. That concludes this second tutorial that I made for Dormammu. I hope you find some of this tech useful. If you have any questions, drop me a comment below, and be sure to subscribe for more Dormammu madness. See you next time.